last year's 3 games against them at all, or have they evolved a little bit?
I think they've evolved immensely, to be fair, and I think we have as well. We've got some good areas of our game that we've got a little bit of confidence in at the moment, which is pleasing, but by no means are we satisfied with where we're at. So we look forward to step up in what will be a hell of a contest, I'm sure.
That aerial game, Jace, not
Yeah.
necessarily your area of expertise, but how pivotal do you expect that to be this week, particularly with George Ford probably going back to 10?
Yeah, it's part of their DNA, Liam, it's what they do. I think we saw in the All Black 15 game as well against England A, it was the same. So good on them. It's obviously a strength for them. I think the big one for us is getting back and being in position around the ruck is going to be important, yeah.
And your full pack, obviously England strong at the set piece. How do you assess where you're at in that regard?
Yeah, good question. I think we're reasonably young in a few areas, like when you look at our 3 locks, immensely proud of them in the last couple of weeks, especially. Lordie's come on and he's come of age. He's been training extremely well and made the most of his chance. When you got last week in particular, when those boys aren't looking for Scott Barrett and Patrick and Tupou Vai, it's them in the moment, and we take a lot of confidence out of that, and we've sort of set them up and pretty proud of where they're at.
Getting Scott Barrett back, potentially, how big in would he be?
Yeah, he'd be good, he's our captain, so he's done all the work he can to get that cut healed up. He's been really diligent, so all going well, he'll get through another training day on Thursday, so he'd be great for us, especially up front. The English are a big four-pack that we immensely respect, so we'll have to be on.
Just lastly from me, how motivating is the Grand Slam? Do you touch on that this week?
We touched about it. We touched on it at the start of the tour, but we haven't talked about it this week. We've just talked about England. Otherwise, you can get a little bit distracted of, the cliche of one test at a time, and I think we've done that pretty well in the last couple of weeks. So it's about giving ourselves a chance this week at Twickenham.
Do you see this as the biggest challenge for the Northern Tour this week?
I think every test match is different. You've got to win them all differently, and I think last week we sort of ground our way out of a bit of trouble in a few pressure spots, but this is up there, as it is, but it's very much the test in front of us. It's cliche, I know, but I think England on a bit of a roll, and we've obviously got a little bit of confidence as well, so it's all set up for a heck of a test match, I think.
How important is it to have that improvement in the area of discipline? Do you think that you're going to be able to get away with it if you had more yellow cards this week? Yeah,
we're probably lucky in the fact that we for 30 minutes we only had 14 on the paddock, and every yellow card's different, and we just got to be better at our self-control. And Wallace Satiti catches that ball and it's an intercept, so it's a fine line, isn't it? Artie's one, I'm not really sure what that was for. So they're all different. So we know that we've got to be better there, and the game shifts so quick at this level. So having 15 on the park is definitely going to be handy.
You talked about the aerial ball, and you said it's going to be important for the ruck. Is it taking it from the area of dominance and shifting it to the All Black strengths? What's that going to look this week like?
Well, as I said before, we've got to win every test match different, but I think that we've got to trust our skills. You've got to prepare for different conditions in Europe this time of year. So, we want to back our instincts and we want to get the game moving and play at speed, but also be in control.
Just on Josh Lord, obviously, he's done so well so far. You've got Scott coming back. Are you still expecting some opportunities for Josh Lord to come on and continue how well he is doing?
Yeah, great question. He's got a lot of confidence in himself, and he's really grown. And it's actually probably the one thing about Lordy, he's been coached really well at a younger age. I think Neil Barnes has done a great job for him, and he deserves a bit of credit. And we're getting him in, and we've always known the capacity that he's had, and he's made the most of his opportunity. And this team, sometimes you don't get many opportunities, but when you do, you've got to take it, and he has.
And he still will get opportunities despite Scott coming back?
The team's named on Thursday, so I'll let you know then.
Jason,
good digging away, it's good.
Jason, when you guys come up this way nowadays, it feels like there's a little bit more confidence among the teams you're playing than there used to be. That they think the All Blacks aura has slipped a little bit or whatever. What do you make of that? And do you kind of don't mind it if they think they've got a shot at you, where in previous years they'd think, look, we're on a hide to nothing here?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand your question, to be fair. I think that we respect every team that's in front of us, and I think that test matches, as I said before, they're all won differently, and every team, I'm sure we've got a couple of weaknesses that they've seen, but we'll prepare as deep as we can because we know they will be. They were incredibly well coached, and yeah, good on them if they've got confidence. We have too, and that's what you want from all your players when they go out in the fiercest arena.
Did you sense in Scotland, or maybe now you've down here in England this week, that there's a bit more confidence than there has been in previous years that they can take your scout?
Yeah, I hope so.
Does that suit you guys? Do you like that?
Yeah, it's great.
Why does it suit you so much? You prefer being unfancied, or?
Yeah, we just want to get about our work and play what's in front of us and trust our skills, you know. I think that's an important part of Test footy, and as I said before, the momentum, it shifts so quick, so you've got to make the most of the opportunities.
In England's pack, that looks like they might be without Ollie Chesham, who was on the Lions tour and has had a good couple of years. Is that a big blow for them to lose someone of his quality? Yeah,
look, I'm sure it'll be next man in. I think the Lions tour, some of the English boys were quite outstanding on that tour, you know, and Ollie was one of them, and as was Genji, you know, like he's incredibly mobile around the park and he's a lot of energy for their pack, so I'm sure it'll be next man in if he is out. I'm not too sure what the story was. I was unaware of that one, sorry.
Can you expand on the bits you've seen from England's evolution? You said they've evolved immensely since the 3 games last year.
Yeah, they've changed a little bit in how they, you know, like to break teams down a little bit. I think they, you know, they've used the 6-2 split a little bit, so they've sort of found a little bit of identity in that and what that is potentially working for them. So that'd probably be one of the things I think. Yeah.
You might not be able to, but can you talk about the nuances you're looking at when you've got the iPads on those 3-on-3 scrummages? That's the real detail of binding, things like that. Yeah,
we just call that a little bit of gold medal learning, to be fair. If you can fix something on the grass instantly and look at a skill and then fix it, it's the gold medal, and after training's a silver and the next day is a bronze, and anything after that, you're not even on the podium.
Chase,
here's an analogy for you.
So, how do you nullify a guy like Maro Itoje, obviously big tailsman for England, and can be pretty niggly at times too?
Oh, yeah, look, Niggly, he's just a great competitor. He's a great competitor. He has been a great competitor for so long for England and for Saracens, and you know, he's part of the Lions, and he was immense for them too. I actually really love the way he competes on the ball and off the ball, and you know, he runs their line out, and he's a big part of their strat, I'd say, and it's a great opportunity for us to come up against him with our younger locks.
Right, we'll wait there for Jace. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Well, Josh, obviously last weekend it was an impressive move when you had the one hand and you did it through the Cam Roy guard. What were you thinking at that time? Was it a planned play?
No, not really planned. I think it kind of just opened up, and then I thought maybe I'll pick it up and have a crack. It all happened pretty quickly. Not normally in space, so a little bit in panic station, but managed to work out, and Cam got the try, so yeah, pretty happy.
Awesome, and how important are those moves in games like this? Like obviously coming into this week, meant to be, you know, the hardest game for the Northern Tide.
Yeah, I guess we've got a great team, so little pieces of magic like that, they make a big difference in the test match, especially against England. It's going to be pretty tight, and obviously in the past it's been pretty tight as well, so we're expecting a big match.
Obviously what's happened this Northern Tour, obviously Scott getting that injury, you'd come back from some injuries over the past few years. How are you feeling to be getting these opportunities to prove what you've got? Yeah,
just grateful. Always grateful to be in this environment. Obviously there's been a few injuries, so other people get to put their hands up for opportunities, and I'm just grateful it's been my hands to put up, so yeah.
Just lastly for me, your focus this week?
Like I touched on before, we know how good England are. They're a pretty set-piece orientated team, so I guess as a forward, you know, it's about giving top quality ball for the backs so they can do what they do the best and score tries out wide.
How patient have you had to be over the last 3 or 4 years for these opportunities?
Pretty patient. I've had to be pretty patient on my body too. I've had quite a few injuries, so I guess it's always been about staying positive and just biding my time and waiting for opportunities to pop up, I guess.
I think not often you've played back-to-back tests. I think this week maybe you've played three in a row for the first time.
Yeah.
That's in a test career like spanning 4 years. It's a rarity.
Yeah, I guess it is. Like I touched on before, I'm pretty grateful to be in this position. So I just take it game by game and try to do what I can for the team and put my best foot forward.
How much have you learned over the last couple of weeks getting those opportunities against big nations like Ireland and Scotland?
Yeah, a lot. Like you touched on before, I haven't probably played too much Test footy. So obviously going against two of the top sides up in Europe, it's been bloody good for me. Obviously learning amongst Scooter, young Fabian. Always just trying to get better and better, and we learn from each other.
Your dad played a lot of rugby over here. What sort of messages has he given you leading?
Oh, yeah, Dad, he played up in Northampton for quite a wee while. So he's coming over on Thursday, I think, so it'll be good for him to be here. He's always just backed me. He hasn't tried telling me too much. So he's just been a good dad and been bloody supportive to me. So, yeah.
And Mara, we told you, you're obviously one of the best locks in the business. What are your sort of impressions of him that you've formed over the years?
Yeah, he's bloody world class, isn't he? We know how niggly he can be. He's a good set piece operator, and like I touched on before, as a forward we're going to have to be bloody right on and do our jobs for the backs and score out wide.
But that move last weekend, obviously a bit different for you. Like, you're really speedy getting down there as well.
Yeah.
How important is it going to be to continue to find those moments? In your game?
I guess Test footy is about winning those little moments, eh? So if we can stack lots of little moments on top of each other, then we'll put ourselves in a good spot to hopefully get the win in Twickenham on Saturday.
And what are you thinking about the high ball with England? Are you guys focusing on that as well, Steve?
Yeah, I think the backs, they always focus on it. As forwards, we can help them out and we get back a little bit faster and clean the scraps up and whatnot. So the backs are doing what they need to do, and the forwards will try to do what we need to do as well.
Who else do you rate England forward back aside from Itoje? What dangers do you see there?
They got bloody good loose forwards, eh? So the ruck's going to be pretty crucial for us. Good ball carriers, chop tackles. It's going to be a bit of a grudge match, so we're looking forward to it.
Where do you feel as an All Black squad this calendar year? Like, you've had a couple of defeats, but you've won the games up here so far. Like, where are you feeling you are at the moment?
We're probably just taking it week by week at the moment, eh? So obviously England this week, we want to keep on getting better and better each week. I'd say from where we are now, from the first match against France, I'd say we're getting better and better each week. So that's how we're wanting to look at it, I guess.
That's it, Josh. Thank you.
Sweet, thank you very much.
Damien, I saw a great clip earlier where you said last week you produced the worst goal kick of your career and then managed to compose yourself to kick an absolute banger. How do you sort of reflect on that sort of 20-minute cameo that you had?
Sort of as an impact player, your job's to come on, impact in a positive way, bring energy. Obviously, for the first part of that, we spent a lot of time on defence, around a lot of pressure by the Scotland team, and then just being able to be accurate in the moments you're given. And I think as a player on the bench, you sort of watch the way the game's flowing, and just knew as an impact player, come on, try and bring that spark and create something. And thankfully enough, we're able to do that as a bench as a whole.
As back being on the bench, you mentioned that you watched the game. Are you having dialogue between maybe the spare half back and the outside back going, have you clocked that they're doing this when we come on, we should try and exploit that?
Yeah, generally it sort of makes sense for us to sit beside the backs on the bench rather than the front rows. So we just talk a little bit of tactics and work out how the game's been played and sort of what we're seeing and how we can come on and make an impact in different areas. So as the game goes on, it's important that we watch with not only watching how well we're playing, but the areas of the game at which we can impact when we come on.
Another week where the impact players are going to have such an impact against England. What's the talk been in camp this week? Obviously, a lot of people would have seen what you did last week, and what's the kind of motivation for, again, having such an impact?
Yeah, I think you try and do as best as you can as an impact player, and I was fortunate enough to come on and have a half-decent game last weekend, but by no means that means you're just going to come out and do exactly the same this weekend. So, nothing changes around the way we prepare as a team, as bench players, and, making sure when we do come on, we add an impact, but we don't overplay and try and push things and try too hard. So, that's a key thing for us as bench players is, it's so important now with the way the game's going, teams are tiring late, and the importance of you coming on and making your marks. So, we talk a lot about that as we are on the bench and making sure we add our impact where we can.
You talk about nothing changing. Obviously, it's going to be so important this week for the wider All Blacks team too. When you're coming up to such an occasion, what's it like trying to keep that focus in camp? What's the talk been when you are going to Twickenham to play England?
Yeah, it's so much history at Twickenham, and we love playing there. The atmosphere's amazing, and we've had some tight battles there with England in the past. So around our preparation, nothing changes. We know we're prepared bone deep, and making sure we go through everything we need to, and making sure we've got enough gas in the tank to go on Saturday. And we're confident with the way we're playing, but we know exactly the impact England have had in their last 2 tests. And for us, it's important that we start well and, again, just finish the game well where we can.
When you come off the bench and you're awarded man of the match, are you banging on Scott's door to say, right, put me in the starting 15? And how does he maybe sort of sell you that role?
Yeah, it's great to get praise and that as a player, but you soon got to remind yourself that you got to get back to ground zero, and as a person I try and stay as grounded as possible. It's good things can happen, but things can change pretty quickly within a week. So whatever role we're given in the team, whether it's starting or a bench player, you do what's best for the team that week. Even if you're not playing, you're setting the team up to go out there and do the best they can on Saturday. So whether that's starting, obviously off the bench this weekend, look, I'm happy with that role, and hopefully I'm able to execute again.
Leroy, your first time playing at Twickenham, is it, for the All Blacks? Yes?
Yeah, for the All Blacks, yeah.
How is that in terms of being up there for a rugby player's dream?
Yeah, it's hugely exciting. Like Slim said, there's a lot of history there, and they're a tough side. So, looking forward to it. Can't wait to feel the atmosphere and hopefully get a good team W.
Have you been looking to more experienced players for what it is like running out there? Obviously, there's a lot of noise last weekend too, but is there nerves about hearing the 82,000 fans a lot going for England?
Yeah, I guess nerves, excitement. The boys around me, like Damien, get around you. They tell you what's it going to be like, and just to be excited and go and express yourself. So it gives me a lot of confidence just to go out there and play.
Do you play sevens at Twickenham?
Yeah, played London Sevens. Wasn't quite as packed as I think it's going to be on Saturday, but yeah, played there a couple of times.
Any standout memories or from?
No, I think we've just a couple of finals. I think, yeah. But yeah, hugely excited.
Teams looking for that lift in discipline. Did you have a bit of a talk this week about what happened last weekend and going?
Yeah, 100%. We definitely reviewed it on Monday. But yeah, I think for me it was just one of those moments that just instincts took over and it just happened. But we definitely got to be better on the discipline side this week.
A lot's been made of England's kind of back three depth and also the back three selection this week. For you personally, how much are you relishing the kind of opportunity to basically shut up 82,000 English people? Yeah, that's the goal at least. They got exciting back three, but I think so do we. So we know what they can bring, their side of the game, and yeah, can't wait to get out there and play it.
Damien, the England team are absolutely desperate to take your scout because they haven't done it for a long time. Do you kind of like that you're the team to shoot at always, and that maybe it forces them to do stuff they wouldn't do usually because they're so keen to say we've beaten New Zealand?
Yeah, it's every test, every weekend, we expect the best from our opposition, and we know we're going to get that from England. We've had some great battles in the last 2 or 3 years, and it never gets any easier playing at Twickenham. So for us as a team, we can expect from them different things around the attack. I know they're probably going to test us early, but for us, obviously we know the strengths that they have throughout their team, but it's also making sure we focus on us and how we can sort of improve on, like Bumper said, our discipline from last weekend and just little key areas of the game which we can bring into Saturday. But yeah, we're expecting a tough test as usual.
Tell us a bit about George Ford. Obviously he's starting at 10, so he may not cross paths, but maybe you will.
Yeah, obviously a classy fly half, a lot of experience there, and just this cool, calm head, I think, is obviously very, very valuable for their team. So might not cross paths with him. I'm sure Bumper will see a few high balls from him, maybe later in the game. And also you've got to look at the guy they're bringing off the bench, Marcus Smith. Had the pleasure of playing against him last year, and we obviously know the strengths and skill set and excitement he brings to their team. So, yep, George is obviously very experienced and leads the team around the field really well, but he's got a lot of threats around him as well. So it's going to be tough.
With Marcus, people often use you as a comparison to what he could become, like someone who can play 10 and 15. Can you talk about that role you have and swapping between those positions and how fun that is, or difficult, or the challenges of doing it maybe?
Yeah, there's definitely a few things that he's got in his game that I wouldn't mind too. He's obviously extremely skillful, quick. I guess when you're covering two positions, it's making sure you're prepared and each way 10's a little bit different to 15. You've got a bit more freedom at the back. So again, whatever role it is when you're coming off the bench is to try and impact and just back yourself and play your game, and we know he does that. So I guess for myself, I try and emulate that as well and try and come on and make an impact where I can, whether it's at 10 or 15.
What would you like from his game?
He's got pretty good feet, younger legs, a bit quicker, but he's got a few tools in his toolbox, so he's a skillful player.
And was that personally ever a challenge just for you, moving between these different roles? And I don't know who first proposed you try it, or was it something that you found natural?
Yeah, I've probably become quite used to it, like bouncing in between 10 and 15. 10, you've got to control the team. 15, you get a bit more freedom. And the last few weeks being able to come on at 15 and just really try and connect well with Bodie. I think we've played a lot of rugby together, so enjoy playing alongside him. And yeah, again, it's just nice to be in the 23 and playing. So whether that's coming off the bench, coming off the bench playing 10 or 15, I try and relish that opportunity.
But do you have to park any bit of your ego at all? I guess like a lot of kids growing up, they want that 10 shirt, and then suddenly
No, it's like every player in the team wants to start, but as I said earlier, like regardless of the role you're given, you're there to do a job to set the team up. And I'm just fortunate enough I'm still able to play and be in that 23. We've got other guys who are hungry to play as well, so being in that role, just make the most of it and come on and have some fun.
Damien, when you first played age group for New Zealand under-20s, England had a great team. Maro Itoje was in that team same time. I mean, did you sort of look at him back then and think this guy could go a really long way in the game? Did you expect him to make the impact that he has just from seeing him at under-20 level? Yeah,
he was obviously a great player back then. We never played them that year, but just watching from afar at the tournament, he was clearly going to have an outstanding career, which he has indeed. So, he said it. He's obviously plays a big role in the England squad, leads the team from the front, and he's obviously an exceptional player.
Leroy, obviously D-Mac touched on the aerial game, and that's a big part of England's game. Sevens players are notoriously brilliant in the air. When you hear talk of people are going to rain high balls down, are you very much like, bring it on?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it comes down to our week, right? We do a lot of work on it during the week, so it brings me confidence to be able to take them. And it's obviously the aerial game's changed a bit over the years with no blockers now, so it's become a bit more of a contest in the air, which I don't mind. I enjoy it, so looking forward to it.
Would you say that if there is one area of movement from 7s to 15s that you think has given you a slight advantage, what would it be?
I'd probably have to say just the work rate of sevens play. It's a pretty tough game, although it's only 14 minutes, you get pretty cooked out there. So probably that fitness and work rate.
Just on that, in terms of there's going to be a lot of hunger from your opposition this week, do you guys feel like you've got the fitness to be building this week with a complete performance? Is that same level of motivation there for the All Blacks? Yeah, 100%. The Grand Slam's still there. That was our goal at the start of this tour, so it's still alive. Got two more teams to complete it, but we're just focused on England for this week. So there's a lot of hunger in camp at the moment.
Damien, you've obviously come up here a lot and played at Twickers. Can you talk us through this experience, the bus ride in, looking around, hearing 82,000 people wanting to lose? What's that like, and sort of, where does it rank? Yeah, it's an amazing experience. A little bit different to home in terms of the atmosphere, and
just the whole occasion, like you're bussing through, all the crowds out, and the marquees outside having drinks, and you got a lot of Kiwi fans, a lot of English fans, and once you're in the stadium, just the raw emotion from the fans and the crowd. You got singing, chanting. We're very fortunate with a lot of Kiwis who have travelled over and a lot of Kiwis who are in London, so it obviously helps. But last weekend was an awesome experience at Murrayfield, and I think the occasions I've had at Twickenham, memories I'll hold forever in terms of playing in front of that crowd. So as a player, you always want to enjoy those moments, relish them, and just soak up the atmosphere when you get the opportunity.
Great, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
How's the laceration? Are you fully back to full health?
Yeah, the cut's healing. Yeah, ready to go for tomorrow.
How gruesome was it?
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. It's about 12 stitches and a few internal ones as well, so it was a good wee job. Sharp spring and a bit of bad timing from one of the boys, and sat out the rest of that game and missed last week, so yeah, I'm fizzing to be back this week.
Yeah, how frustrating was it sitting out Chicago, Edinburgh?
Yeah, I think once I looked down, I knew it was going to be somewhat serious, and I'm just excited about this week and watch the guys finish strong in Chicago, and I guess fight pretty hard up in Edinburgh, to come away with a win there against the Scottish team that are certainly up for it.
Played England a few times now. What are your expectations come tomorrow afternoon?
We're expecting a strong English team targeting the first 20 minutes and back in their defence, and strong tactical kicking game, and a team that's got a lot of confidence and got a bit of momentum at home. So it's going to be a heck of a test match, and we've prepared accordingly.
What parts of the game do you think winning or losing will come down to tomorrow?
I guess test match is built on moments and wrestling momentum. It's about staying in the fight too. I think they've selected a 6-2 split, so it's certainly going to be physical. We always expect that against England, so both teams will want to play a little bit too. But then there's going to be pressure moments around the high ball, winning the ball there, where they certainly put a lot of energy into, and it's going to be a decent day for our back three.
Strong start last week. Has there been any talk this week about keeping that energy high at the start of the second half? Do you think it was like a fitness level type thing for the All Blacks last week, or no?
Yeah, I think it was just a wee. You can't knock off, and we didn't take the first kick off, and then next thing Scotland are capitalising on that, and you've got to be on for 80 minutes, and at times last week we weren't quite there, and we had to work pretty hard to get ourselves out of that situation.
There's been a lot of talk about the fact that you can't be that many yellow cards this week. How important do you think that is?
Yeah, sure, we've touched on that. One or two of those, it's just probably the mental side, the impulse things where you're in a test match and it's an arm wrestle, and we rush of blood can be quite costly, so for us it's about being accurate and playing the game that we want. Eliminating that frustration is certainly a trap that we don't want to fall into tomorrow.
Scott, you guys have got a great record at Twickenham, England. I've only beaten you there, 2012 was the last time. Is it a venue you love playing at?
Yeah, sure. It's 80-odd thousand. It's always a challenge from the first minute. It's always physical. It's always a great contest. Look back the past, few games we've had against England. It's sort of been within a one-score game. So if history's anything to go by, it's going to be a heck of a test match, and we've certainly got some scars from the English going back to the 2019 World Cup. So certainly we don't want to go there again.
Despite your record, the bookies of England as favourites. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest. I think they've gathered some momentum at home. They've got a youthful group with some experienced heads in amongst it in key positions. And yeah, I guess a team that's confident. and certainly you're backing themselves.
Why do you think you guys aren't as fancied as you usually are this time?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Probably going off last week. You know, we scored a couple of quick tries, and then for a lot of that game, we're actually, you know, there's an arm wrestle, and I think Scotland probably won a lot of those arm wrestles in you know, areas that England would have highlighted and certainly seen as opportunities. So, you know, a week's a short time and also a long time in Test match rugby, and we're looking forward to, you know, running out tomorrow and you know, doing our country proud.
Scott, how you said this, it's scarred in 2019. Does that still live with you, even though you've beaten them since?
Yeah, sure. I think yeah, every All Black, I guess, I don't know, wants to win a World Cup, and to have that sort of dream or the rug pulled out from underneath there by England, you know, it certainly leaves a scar. And yeah, I think for us it's about you know, taking the strengths that we've sort of you know, built upon this season, playing with confidence, and you know, putting a performance in tomorrow night that we're proud of.
The England team have talked quite confidently this week in saying they want to be aggressive and go after the All Blacks and things like that. Do you quite like that as a challenge?
Yeah,
say
sure.
that they're going to fly at you, you're going to fly at them.
Sure, I think we've seen when they come down to New Zealand last year, their line speed, nothing's changed there. I guess their breakdown pressure, nothing's changed there, and I think if anything, they probably doubled down on, you know, their DNA, the aerial game, and being disruptive. So yeah, I think we're certainly prepared for that, and we're excited about tomorrow.
Obviously you want to win every game and you don't want to lose any game, but is there a particular thing that's special about winning Twickenham or beating England, and then on the flip side it's more painful about losing to England, perhaps, as a Kiwi?
Yeah, sure. I think you know, there's a lot of Kiwis over here, but there's probably, you know, a damn sight, a few more English over here that would be singing, you know, "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot" at the end of the game if we're down. So, you know, you can use that as fuel to make, you know, the 80 minutes that goes before that, you know, I guess turn out a result that you can be proud of and hang your head on.
Is that what you want to do, keep the crowd quiet this weekend?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I think, yeah, we've talked about noise. You know, noise ultimately is a distraction, you can get frustrated by it, but you know, we're using that as a fuel, you know, like in those moments, sticking up to that, you know, what's required right there and then, and you know, embracing it, smiling at it, and you know, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the Test arena.
Scott, the aerial battle is something where has been a big focus on for some positions. Is that something in the build up to this week that you guys have talked about, or focusing on training?
Yeah, sure, that's been a key area. You know, the aerial contest and Test match rugby is a big part of the game now, and they've certainly got some great kickers with Alex Mitchell and George Ford, and guys who can go chase it, and you know, Foa Bosa, who can probably jump over the top of me. So you know, they've got some great athletes that can chase that ball, and that's going to be a big part of the game tomorrow.
Just in terms of Kiwi fans, there are going to be more English fans, but how much does it mean to still have some black jerseys in among the crowd for the team and in the build-up this week?
Yeah, sure. There's always there's Kiwis over here, expats, and guys, you know, who've travelled out to follow the tour, and their support goes a long way. And if we're lucky enough to be standing there at the end with a victory, to see their smile and I guess share a photo, you know, it means the world. So yeah, we can't wait till tomorrow.
Scott, two young locks excelled last week, Holland and Lord, but Holland got the nod this week. As captain, but also as a senior player in your position, how are you kind of mentoring them and as a kind of next generation coming through?
Yeah, sure. I think it's great that boys have had a crack the last couple of weeks, and you know, it certainly you know, it puts a bit of pressure on. You have to front up every week, and when you put the All Black jersey on, and you know, Fabian, he's played every game this year, and certainly put his hand up, and he's like a Labrador when you take him down to the pond. He's got so much energy, and yeah, even clarity, he's still at 100%. So refreshing having guys like him in the squad.
Thanks, Scott. Tell us overall summary of what you've gone for with the team that's been announced.
Yeah, we've gone for our best team for this game, this test. Obviously, good cohesion, a couple of tests in, a lot of the combinations that have played together, and good powerful bench to get us home.
With Simon Parker coming back into the mix, is it his height there, among other things, and keeping Wallace for later when that bench is going to be so important? Or what's
That's exactly what you just said. That's exactly right. He's a big body, he's physical, and Wallace will come on. He's obviously got a great game, especially if the chance it opens up a little bit, or we still have to make our tackles and turn the ball over, or whatever the style of game is, he can add to it.
What about Anton Leonard-Brown? Obviously, he hasn't played for the All Blacks in 7 games. Experience, what thinking with bringing him in for the biggest match of the tour so far?
Look, he can cover all positions in the back line. He can 12-13, cover wing as well. He's experienced. He's trained really well. It's great.
How much are you looking for a statement performance this week?
Statement performance, we're just looking for a result. I think probably the key thing is, Kate, that you look at these games, how tight they are, and the margins are in 2 quality teams. Both got clear DNA how they want to play, and they're tight. So discipline and keep trusting ourselves and keep playing is the key.
And how do you diffuse the POM squad?
The what squad?
The POM squad. Have you heard of this?
It's catchy. If they've gone for that, wow, that's innovation, isn't it? Did you come up with it, mate? Did you? No? Is it you got Telegraph, or was it we got the POM squad? Yeah, I think, but as you know, the finishing of test matches is critical, and whoever you bring on need to make an impact.
Scott, just with Simon, did you rest him last week with this week in mind?
A bit of both. We felt we just wanted to have that combination and give the guys a chance, and Wally back to 6, and have the combination with him and Peter. We know what hard he can do. He's pretty special, but it was just the combination of those two, and yeah, he comes in fresh and keen.
Scott, Leicester's been sensational at 13 for probably a year now, and obviously it was amazing when it came on against Ireland. Just what's the rationale thinking to play him on the wing?
Did you see the second Bledisloe Cup match? Yeah, he was pretty handy on left wing, gets power, left foot kick as well, and he's playing good footy, so yeah, it's a spot.
Obviously there's a few ways you could have gone with that back line, but was that always the likely move, moving Leicester back to the wing?
With Caleb injury, obviously he's in good form. It was one that you feel for him because he just got his rhythm and his power game, aerial game, all the things that you need from a left wing, and we just felt there was a best change. And obviously Billy goes into his 8th test and he's trained there, and he came on with Quinn, and he's been ready to go. So the combination and the way we want to play is what we've gone for.
Right, so if you looked at Edinburgh came out after half time, and game turned on its head. Scotland had a 20-minute period really where they had all the momentum. You looked at that and tried to understand why that happened.
Yeah, look, the momentum swings, and they sort of put pressure on us, and the compounding and the ability to get our own end more cleanly was key for us. So we did that. Probably just took longer than we'd sort of planned for, and so we've done a bit of work on it this week, but we're aware of how to get the momentum back. Yeah.
Scott, the bookmakers in the Northern Hemisphere make England marginal favourites, and maybe the English public might be unfamiliar with a few of your players. I think there's only 5 survivors from the last starting 15 that came here. What would you say to the English fans coming to Twickenham expecting an English win?
Is there only 5?
Really? 15 from the game 12 months ago.
12 months ago, okay. Look, I didn't get that stat. I was ready for some great game of footy. It always turns it on, the atmosphere, and it's a great occasion, Swing low, starts cranking, you're in a special place where rugby's loved. So I think I can look forward to a game that's going to be played the way it should be, the ball in hand, and there'll be a kicking battle, but that's what comes after that's the key.
Coming off Scotland, obviously you've had that experience of a passionate crowd too. Do you think for some of the younger players there is confidence that you've just had that? Like All Blacks are used to playing at Twickenham and winning there all the way back to 2012 against this team. You think you're ready for that hype of the crowd?
Yeah, look, we covered off what playing at Twickenham's like, just like in Murrayfield and Soldier Field, like the occasion, how it lifts you, and you know, there's value in playing at home. We play majority of our games away, as we know. If it's Australia, it's a 12-hour flight, so we get used to get used to travelling in that side of the game, and we embrace where we're playing. You know, what do they love the game, and the history of it. It's really important. The legacy part for us in the All Blacks is we have to keep tapping in and remind ourselves what the gift that's been given to us around the legacy and our chance to add to it, and Twickenham's a part of that.
You've got a lot out of your young locks over the last couple of weeks, but how important to have your captain back for a test like this?
Yeah, he's healed well, The Barretts got some good skin. It was remarkable once you saw the cut. So it was good healing powers, and we're just pleased. You know, he's definitely enthusiastic. We've had to pull him back a bit. It's great.
Does he train fully a week, Scott?
Yes, he has. Yeah. Yep, he's ready to go.
Crazy. Usually the atmosphere peaks right at the beginning, doesn't it, with the haka and everything. In England, over the last few times, have come up with some sort of response, and they're walking forward. Do you kind of love the theatre of that and the fact that the crowd goes wild for it?
Yeah. The haka is setting a challenge, you know, look, and we welcome that respectfully. You know, there's always rules of engagement around it, but they know what we're going to do, and you if you haven't planned or covered off what they're going to do, you're unexpected, and that's part of it. And over the period of time, someone does something different, and you welcome it.
And just looking at how Steve Broadfoot's stacked his bench with all those British and Irish Lions, is part of the game plan or the role that you guys have got to do is almost get it to the point where it's irrelevant what they do in the last 20 minutes because you're so far ahead? Is that
That's a good game plan, mate. That's far answered your own question there. That was perfectly done. Oh, look, I just know how things can swing around, and look, they're all good. They're tough. As you see, quality players that can make a difference, especially at the back end of the game, and they'll make an impact no matter what. Yeah.
Scott, it's pretty clear for England's lineup that they're going to be kicking to contest. How much have you focused on that in the week, building up to it with Roebuck and Stewart and Favourbosa and team?
Oh, look, we've got a great aerial game in it. Mitchell's a quality kicker, and they put it on the spot, so it's a big part of the game for them. And they also play a bit too. You know, you've got to look at them. They can take the ball in hand, and they can. If George gets it out of his hands quickly, you know the game's on. So it's exciting, isn't it, when you play a team like that?
What weaknesses do you see in this England team that's been selected?
Not many. They're pretty well rounded. Their season, you can see their strengths when they played the last two Test matches. We more talk about our participants' strengths and where we can find opportunities, but we'll play to ours. Yeah.
Fraser, what does it mean for a New Zealander to beat England? Like England have only done it 8 times, and they're sort of desperate. And Steve Borthwick talked about the pain and suffering you have to go through to beat New Zealand. But on the flip side, what does it mean to a Kiwi to come up here and win?
It's pretty special, you know, the occasion, the location, like I mentioned, the history about it before, and it's your turn in the jersey. You know, you got the fern on, so each one's got its own moment, and that's what you've got to get the week right to get the performance right. So that's what we're focused on, and looking forward to it.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to the Lensbury. Great to have you here. I've got no announcements as such, but just great to be in London, and looking forward to a great Test match at Twickenham. It's always an honour and a real privilege to play there, and something we're looking forward to. So, who's first up?
Can you just give us a sort of further update, injury-wise, who's in, who's out this weekend?
Scott Barrett's making great progression. Tomorrow's training is important for him to get through to be available, but he's tracking well. Caleb Clark's unavailable for this Test match. He's got a 12-day stand down, and it's looking good for the next Test match.
Scott, what's your assessment of the fatigue of the squad? Been played one man short for half an hour.
Yeah.
Potentially takes a lot out of the team. Do you have to
manage them, I guess, at the back end of the year as well?
Yeah, of course. It's a few games in. You've got a decent test schedule, and you manage them through training and mental load and physical load, and your meetings. And it's great here. You just walk off the back deck here, and you're at training, so it's good. No bus time. There's a beautiful little village here, but yes and no. It's great because we had that little 4-week period before we came over to get ourselves physically ready. It felt like a bit of a freshen up and get a bit of UV before we head over here, and it's been good. The boys are fresh, but battle hardened.
So what did you make of England the weekend?
A hell of a test match, wasn't it? Didn't get the full 80 in, but I watched a lot of the clips, the opportunities, the toughness, the fight back. Fijians at their powerful best, and pretty England. Yeah.
And in terms of your test match, was that the sort of test that you wanted coming to Twickenham this weekend? I know it was in the balance for a little while, but you got there in the end, and was that a good sort of build-up really to what's coming this weekend?
Yeah, like if you look at the recent history of English test matches, they've always come down to small margins at the end of games, and that was very much like that against Scotland, wasn't it? There was a big momentum swings in a couple of moments, and we fought our way back, and just really pleased with the calmness of the leaders and the ability to take moments and execute.
England haven't beaten New Zealand since 2019 semi-final. Will you tap into that this week? Does that matter? Your good record against them in the intervening period, and will you tap into that this week?
History matters. How you've done it, and probably reflect on it more, but what's happened since. Like I mentioned, the tightness of the games, and how what it is to play like at Twickenham, and the occasion of it all, and we're grateful to be here. It's great, and what other teams have done before, and how we can tap into it. So look at the history. Yes.
So after those 3 games last year, Scott, against England, we're all within the score. How important is that mentally? That you have a bit of an edge in that respect?
Well, it's pleasing that you can stay tough and find a way. That's good. You can draw on that on the belief side of it. But this test matches, you can start again and go right back to your preparation right from the start. Get back to where you need to, and what we did in those test matches, and know this week's the most important, and enjoy it.
Razor, one of the big things you're talking about, tight margins. One of the big improvements, I guess, you've seen this year is the contribution you've had from your bench. How important is it that these guys don't see if they play well off the bench one week that leads to promotion necessarily to start, and just keep a bench that you feel can continue to get you that impact?
Yeah, that's the balance. We know that the test matches that were in our hands would lead. It hadn't quite gone away. The execution. Blocks of time, not being able to stack positive moments together, and then getting a group that come on and swing momentum and stay on top of it and execute on key times. So look, something we're really focused on, and it's great to see that change. So it is real critical for us, and you look at it definitely when you're naming the side, probably with more focus than you normally would, because you just know how those margins are. Test matches are one in the last 20, aren't they?
Do you have to sell that a little bit to the players, get them to understand? There's also been a little bit of a stigma being on the bench and not getting a start to it, but you've got to sell it to them now and say, that's a hugely important job. It's not.
Well, it's a 23, isn't it? It's a 36 to get yourself ready for the week, the whole squad, and then it's the 23 on the game day, and who's starting, who's finishing is just as important, and the roles, and who's done that previously. We looked at Kevin Melam, who's a prime example. He's a humble hero. Tough, whatever's best for the team, and he's a fine example of it.
What did you make of the way England are using their bench so much? It's been a real weapon for them in the last 2 years.
It has.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go.
Damien, I saw a great clip earlier where you said last week you produced the worst goal kick of your career and then managed to compose yourself to kick an absolute banger. How do you sort of reflect on that sort of 20-minute cameo that you had?
Yeah, it was sort of as an impact player, you know, your job's to come on, impact in a positive way, bring energy. Obviously, for the first part of that, we spent a lot of time on defence, around a lot of pressure by the Scotland team, and then just being able to be accurate in the moments you're given. And I think as a player on the bench, you sort of watch the way the game's flowing, and just knew as an impact player, come on, try and bring that spark and create something. And yeah, thankfully enough, we're able to do that as a bench as a whole.
As back-throwing on the bench, you mentioned that you watched the game. Are you having dialogue between like maybe the spare half back and the outside back going, have you clocked that they're doing this when we come on, we should try and exploit that?
Yeah, generally it sort of makes sense for us to sit beside the backs on the bench rather than the front rows. So we just talk a little bit of tactics and work out how the game's been played and sort of what we're seeing and how we can come on and make an impact in different areas. So yeah, as the game goes on, it's important that we watch with not only watching how well we're playing, but the areas of the game at which we can impact when we come on.
Another week where the impact players are going to have such an impact against England. What's the talk been in camp this week? Obviously, a lot of people would have seen what you did last week, and what's the kind of motivation for, again, having such an impact?
Yeah, I think you know, you try and do as best as you can as an impact player, and you know, I was fortunate enough to come on and have a half-decent game last weekend, but by no means that means you're just going to come out and do exactly the same this weekend. So, you know, nothing changes around the way we prepare as a team, as bench players, and, you know, making sure when we do come on, we add an impact, but we don't overplay and try and push things and try too hard. So that's a key thing for us as bench players is, you know, it's so important now with the way the game's going, teams are tiring late, and the importance of you coming on and making your marks. So, yeah, we talk a lot about that as we are on the bench and making sure we add our impact where we can.
You talk about nothing changing. Obviously, it's going to be so important this week for the wider All Blacks team too, when you're coming up to such an occasion. What's it like trying to keep that focus in camp? What's the talk been when you are going to Twickenham to play England?
Yeah, it's so much history at Twickenham, and you know, we love playing there. The atmosphere's amazing, and you know, we've had some tight battles there with England in the past. So around our preparation, nothing changes. You know, we have to prepare bone deep and making sure we go through everything we need to, and making sure we've got enough gas in the tank to go on Saturday. And you know, we're confident with the way we're playing, but we know exactly the impact England have had in their last two tests. And for us, it's important that we start well and again just finish the game well where we can.
When you come off the bench and you're awarded man of the match, are you banging on Scott's door to say, right, put me in the starting 15? And how does he maybe sort of sell you that role?
Right, hello everybody and welcome to Forever Sports. It is the game of the weekend. It is England taking on the All Blacks. A game which could go either way, to be honest. I predict an All Blacks win, but nothing guaranteed at all. Two teams, both, I think, very much still trying to find exactly what their kind of best combinations are, what the way they want to play, and both coaches under pressure, but not under pressure. You know, I think these are two teams who are kind of perennially underperformed in this year. And to be fair, it sounds harsh because the All Blacks have lost one game, but there's not quite been putting the kind of performance out there. And I think that if I'm England, I'm sitting there thinking that this All Black side is there for the taking if they can pitch up and play well. And at Twickenham, well, I'll tell you what, they've got a great record there, the All Blacks, and this will be the opportunity for England to say, no, actually, no, you don't just come to our home and get a victory. So hopefully a good game to come. Give me your score predictions down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and we are off as Beauden Barrett goes to the right-hand side. And a solid enough clearance coming early on from Alex Mitchell, who does fine touch. Obviously, the classic England and white, All Blacks in black. We don't have to worry about kick clash and like that with these two teams. If we look at the two teams in the front row, Finn Baxter, Jamie George, and Joe Hayes for England, backed up by Mario Toja and Alex Coles. You got Guy Pep in the number 6 jersey, Sam Underhill and Ben Earl in that back row. Alex Mitchell will partner George Ford in the halfback pairing. Good line so far. All Blacks go short. Nice early carry coming from Billy Proctor in the centres there. Now pick up and go there coming from Cameron Roygard. Artie Savia in the number 7 jersey to the right-hand side. First carry there coming from Peter Lakai. There is Artie Savia, his first opportunity to carry. Now to the right-hand side. Side carry with him, Cody Taylor taking the ball into the mix. And down ball available for Cameron Roygard. To the left-hand side he goes. There's a good tackle there coming, and Underhill gets up nice and quickly on Peter Lakai. But Barrett now, long pass out wide. Will Jordan. Now with space, comes back inside. Good carry there coming from Lester Fanganuku. And I've lost it forward. England a turnover ball here. Sam Underhill. And eventually Alex Mitchell does arrive. Ben Earl's first carry. Sees a bit of space, comes around the outside. Mitchell shaping up for the kick though. Mario Toja comes to block. Does go to the boot. And chasing hard is facing first to the hands of Peter Lakai. Good challenge there from Tom Roebuck. The young number 14. After the right side goes Beauden Barrett. Kuntupai steps back inside. Caught on the ball though. Good defence so far here from England. Big carry there coming from Scott Barrett. And ball over the top and having to go back and retrieve is Freddie Stewart. Now lifts it up to himself to chase. And takes it brilliantly out there. That's what he's there for, Freddie Stewart. On the 10-metre line, quick ball needed here from England. Alex Mitchell does arrive. Back towards Ford. Short. And a good line being run there from Ollie Lawrence. Now the left-hand side. Space coming back inside. Good work that coming from Feo Boso. Ben Earl. This is good momentum here from the men in white. Ford looks for options. Goes behind. Freddie Stewart. Long pass out towards Roebuck. Roebuck with the space. Cuts back inside. Then straightens. Good tackle coming that from Billy Proctor. Mitchell. Goes short. Big carry there coming from Jamie George. To left-hand side. Ball over the top from Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith. From George Ford, rather, and it's going to be too much on it. Not sure it's the right option, really, there from the experienced fly half. But what a start that is from England. Very, very positive. Great take from Freddie Stewart in the air. Well, good early pressure. And that's the kind of start that England would want. You just got to try and go into it, and the restart goes towards George Ford. He's looking for options. He's going to go to the boot. Takes his time. Sends it spiraling in the air. Freddie Stewart will give chase. I think there's going to be a lot of aerial battles here this evening. When Beauden Barrett spills it backwards, Neil Carter caught in the ball, gets away from one. Has to clean up. Big tackle coming on him. Not what we wanted, what they would have liked to have seen from Beauden Barrett, who eventually now does clear. Puts his hand up, does George Ford. But such an intelligent kick. Just puts this so high in the air, spiraling, and Bowden Barrett makes an absolute hash of it. Out to the right-hand side. Short. Forward. Things out wide. Ferry Boso is caught on the ball. Good work this time. Mitch to the right-hand side. Nice carry from Finn Baxter. Goes himself. William back inside. And the ball comes loose. It's on to go backward, but knock-on is the call. Very good lineman around there. Fraser Dingwall. And England asking all the questions early on. Yeah, just a bit of a show and go. Back inside. Oh, I'll tell you what, Sam Underhill gets that offload away. And England go over. Born 8001 reckons that the All Blacks are in for a long evening. Well, the way you started here, I think you could very well be right. England have started well. Very, very well. Ball available. Peter Lacar off the back of the scrum. Gets across Sam Underhill. George Ford partially stops him, but makes good ground as the number 8. Bowden Barrett back in the pocket. And goes to the boot as Cam Roygaard has fine touch. And Freddie Stewart will not look to take it quickly. So it's a very good kick there for Cam Roygaard. Right back inside England territory. So he's done very well there. Jamie George with ball in hand. And they're starting to have the All Blacks. So turnover ball. Cameron got under a bit of pressure. Long pass out wide. Gets it away to Fanganuku. Now, Will Jordan at first receiver. The big hit coming on him. They're all the way back in their own half, the All Blacks. Lost momentum. Kick over the top. Stewart. Stewart gets away from one. Nice carry there coming from him. Now, but it's space to the left-hand side. Ferry Raboso brought down by Lira Carter eventually on the 22. Billy Proctor stayed down for the All Blacks, but he's back up on his feet. And penalty, says the referee. Of course. Who else but Artie Xavier when you need a clutch turnover? The absolute cheat code when you're under pressure is Artie Xavier. Brilliant turnover. James, I don't think the All Blacks drop off under Robertson has been talked about enough. They were meant to go to another level under him. Yeah, 100%. I don't think they've stepped up, inverted commas. You know, there's all this big talk about new era, for example. Foster's gone. Now we're going to see the proper All Blacks. I don't think we really have, to be honest. Barrett goes nice in the midfield once again. I mean, Peter Lacar's been everywhere so far early on. Now ball over the top. Freddie Stewart will make an appearance. Knocks it back because there's nobody really home though, so there's a bit of a race on for it. Bernal gets back under a lot of pressure coming from Quinton Pipe. And England managed to scramble back and seal it. Under a lot of pressure coming though from the All Blacks. Ball available for Ford. He pops it short. Hayes takes it in. Mitchell now gets to the boot. And a very good kick from Mitchell. Burton Barrett does not take it quickly. Thought about it, I think, but did not take it, decided against it. So all back line, basically on the halfway line, just past the halfway line, inside England territory, close to the 10 metre. To the back they go, to Josh Lord. Roy got now, Barrett, pops it short. And Quinton Pye, fighting hard in the tail, gets to the 10 metre line. On the front foot, Roy got to the right-hand side. Cody Taylor now. Still not really past 10 metre line though. Needs someone to get a front foot ball. Nice inside ball though coming towards Fletcher Newell. Presents well for Roy Guard. Barrett steps back inside. It goes Will Jordan. Slippery customer at the best of times. Artie Savia up towards the 10 metre line. And back it goes. And having to pick up and do a bit of cleaning up here is... Well, it's a nice big hit coming there from Simon Parker. Roy Guard is getting half a gap. Will Jordan picks up and goes. Artie Savia caught on the ball. Slow ball now towards the back. Billy Proctor on the front foot goes Ethan de Groot. Now to the right hand side. A little bit stationary here at the moment from the All Blacks. Bowden Barrett, not too many options. Goes to his brother, Scott Barrett, pops it up short to Peter Lakai. Charlie Lawrence makes half a tackle. Now Barrett, quick ball up here from England. And, I'll tell you, the ball over the back is not great. And has to clean up here, does Billy Proctor. Then eventually just launched it to the boot under a lot of pressure. We'll send it downfield. On the bounce to Freddie Stewart. Freddie Stewart, deep, but it's a low kick. And actually won it back. Artie Savia pops it up. Roy got to the right-hand side. Bowden Barrett now to the middle of the park. Sees a bit of space on the right-hand side. Ferry Wabos is going to have to go back. 50-22 is on. That's a phenomenal kick from Bowden Barrett. Saw the space. How to go. Very good awareness that from Bowden Barrett. It was a really poor kick that from Freddie Stewart. It was so low and just ricocheted off... I think it was might have been Leo Carter who got through there. Jamie George. And the All Blacks once again steal it. Ball's loose on the ground. Mario Toja's got away with it. And the referee says there is a knock-on. So it'll be a scrum for the All Blacks. Messy lines at the moment. It's just such a good read there from Scott Barrett. They read the England line out very well so far of the All Blacks. It's 2 steals already, and it's only been 12 minutes. In fact, I don't think England's actually had a clean line out so far. So lots needs to change. Break and play. A couple of players getting some treatment from injuries and the likes of that. We should be getting ready to go for our first scrum of the evening. Yeah, we are back and ready. Players back on their feet. There's Emma Raducanu, who's watching on, in case anybody wanted to know. Wouldn't have guessed that she would have been a big rugby fan, but fair enough. Right, there we go. Quinton Pye on the front foot. Still going. Ball available. Roy got quick ball. Parker. Big tackle coming on him. Into the 22, the All Blacks go. Coming around the corners, Ethan de Groot. Nice tackle coming from Mario Tojo is assisting there. Now, long pass off from Bodie Barrett, but a space out wide. Comes back inside as Les Fanganuku. Good work from him. We got back towards Cody Taylor. Space to the left-hand side. They're desperate for it. Bodenberg off the ground. Proctor's just short. They're on the doorstep here, the All Blacks. Show and go and scores. Well, they only need one opportunity, don't they, All Blacks? For the first time really on the front foot, and Lester Fanganuku goes over. And New Zealand open the scoring in 40 minutes. Yeah, just the wrong read there, to be honest. But from that kind of issue, yeah, it's just Freddie Stewart. It's just too passive there, really. Allows him to come towards him, and he's always going to lose ground then. So the perfect start. I'll show a turn. It's getting a bit chilly in this office. Give me 2 seconds. Right, we're back. Right, 5-0. No conversion successful there. So it remains at 5-0. Very frustrating for England, who have been on the front foot, have been the better side, and trail. And that's going to compound the mistake because George Ford has now just put the ball into touch. And he's an experienced player that should not be doing making those kind of mistakes. Cannot make those kind of mistakes. Very important game this for Lester Fanganuku. Was named after Lester after his father won a match then for, I think it was Tonga. Explains the name Lester. And he's on the scoreboard. Right, so scrum back on the halfway line is the call. And I think you've only had one scrum. It was pretty generic. Nothing too special about it so far. Cameron Odegaard feeds. To the right-hand side of the shape, but then he goes down the left-hand side with his boots. Looking for that 50-22. Oh, my living. That is so pinpoint from him. That is phenomenal. And that should be an All Blacks line out. That is absolutely brilliant from him. I mean, bang, scrum on the halfway line, kicking behind. Makes no mistake. And now all of a sudden, All Blacks back on the front foot, inside the 22, with the feed to the line out. Good line that coming from the captain. Artie Savio goes to Roy Gard, goes to Beauden Barrett. Long pass around the angle, goes to Will Jordan. Will Jordan slices straight through. Should have made the pass, but he gets back up and has another go. Within 5 meters now. Roy Gard options, goes to the left. Pops up, Beauden Barrett. Long pass out wide, there's nobody there on the bus to Cody Taylor. Steps back inside, Cody Taylor goes over. Too easy. 2 within 4 minutes from the All Blacks. And I mean, England would have spent the entire week about starting well, putting pressure on them, and they did. They couldn't take the opportunities, and this is what All Black sides do. They take their chances. They're clinical. That's such a good... I mean, he gets it so wrong, does Ferro Bosa, trying to get around the outside. Will Jordan just squares him up. Then long pass out, Jeff and Barrett. Quincy Power, long pass out wide towards Cody Taylor. Steps back inside Mitchell, and then dives over. Easy as you like. England shell-shocked early on. Burton Barrett, good kick that from him. This time, no mistake with the conversion, and he brings up the extra 2 points. 12 points to 0. Scott Robertson definitely looking the more comfortable of the two coaches. Steve Borthwick will be a little bit concerned about how easy it's been for them to score. George Ford be a bit safer with his restart now. Balls go to the top there from Cam Roybard. Freddie Stewart bounced off his chest and forward, knock on advantage. You see, things like that you can't have. When you're under pressure, you've got to be able to then find ways back into the game. Back in their own half is Ford. He needs to find a good kick. Won't find touch. Barrett, chip and chase. Ben Earl gets there, does very well. Ball over the top. And one back by Fisher into the hands of England on the front foot. Goes Coles. Good work there from him. Now George. Can England try and hit back here? Mitchell to the left-hand side. Ford wants to go inside. Pops it back inside to Alex Mitchell. Indecision at the moment from England. Hayes shows and goes. Just past the 10-metre line. Mitchell arriving now. Shape for the ball at the top. Got a player in the way, though. Finn Baxter. Mitchell now shaping to go to the boot. Does go to the boot. Things are quite long, though, so Roebuck's going to have to do a lot of work. Takes it easy, does Will Jordan. And the return comes into the hands of George Ford. Freddie Stewart now. Back into the hands. And going forward is Guy Pepper. Mitchell to the right-hand side. Freddie Stewart, ball in behind. Will Jordan managed to marshal it out. Almost like it just wasn't going to ever go out, but it's good work there from Will Jordan. Intelligent kick, though, from Freddie Stewart. Looks like he's going to have to go for HIA. There's also Marcus Smith on. Freddie Stewart's obviously been picked up by the gum guard and has to go off for an HIA. One imagines he should be all right, given the fact that he didn't even realize what was going on. Ball over the top. It's ballsy, and Peter Lakai comes away with a good line at that from the All Blacks in the end. Roy Guard. You've got Burton Barrett in the pocket, all taking it on himself. He does take it on himself. Use that left boot of his. It does find touch. And Roebuck not taking any chance. England will go back towards the half line. Just past 21-minute mark. Tell you what, Roy Guard, when he's on, eh? What a player. And once again, competing for the line, and they've won it again. The England line's an absolute shambles at the moment. Roygaard will set this deep once again. That's the third starting lineup here from the All Blacks. And if you don't have a set piece, England, I mean, that becomes so difficult to win games if you don't have a set piece. Ball comes forward off the All Blacks. Lock on advantage. George Ford, long pass out always towards Ben Earl. Ben Earl sees a bit of space. Ben Earl trying to go through the middle. Gets all the way to Marcus Smith, who's just come on as a replacement for Freddie Stewart. Tackle on the 10-metre line. Mitchell caught on the ball. Good timing. But inside ball. It's a great line being run by Handel. Gets away a fair with Bosie. Has he got the pace? Comes back aside. Looking for support. He's just too short. Mitchell. Calls. Has been held up. Yo, that is brilliant defending. Absolutely brilliant defending. I thought for sure they were going over there. And maybe Cole's guilty of trying to be a bit greedy, to be honest. Inside ball, Marcus Smith. Such good hands, yeah. Inside ball, bang! Underhill gets his hands free out towards Ferry Bosu. Cruises back inside. I think Coles, you just need. He went so high up in the carry. Roy got everyone just completely scrambling, and it's a great defense. England have won eventually back from the 22, or the goal line dropout rather. Mitchell, Earl almost breaks through, gets past 20 to 22, presents well. Mitchell, quick ball, goes inside to Coles, who's got, I think his shorts have ripped, or else something's going wrong with his kit somewhere. Same thing's actually happened to Ben Earl. So the England shorts are a bit of a disaster. Though. Steps back inside, goes Fraser Dingwall. Inside 22, looking promising here. To the right-hand side, Sam Underhill. Yeah, Ben Earl's pants are completely ripped off. He's basically, you talk about kit man issues. Well, we've got two players with ripped shorts. Stayed down here has, I think it's Guy Pepper that's down. And stop and play due to the injury. So it'll be a while before we get going once again here. Yeah, you gotta. This is the thing. When it comes to beating New Zealand, you've got to get on top of them early. You really do. You can't allow them to go into the game. And they started off well, but they didn't capitalize. And all of a sudden, you allow them back inside your own half, and you can see 2 quick tries. And now all of a sudden, you're 12 points now. And that's what the All Blacks do so well. Even when they're not playing particularly well, they often find ways of scoring points. And then there's a confidence point of view that they're on top, and they don't have to make the play here. Clinton said, All Blacks in for a long night. Sorry, mate, you obviously don't know New Zealand rugby. I do, actually. I watched the Box put like 50-odd points on them. So I actually know it quite well, to be fair. I watched us beat them in the World Cup final 2023. So I'd say I know them reasonably well. I know of them. New Zealand have won 12 of their last 13 matches against European sides, with the only defeat during the point coming by a single point. Still breaking play as we try and sort out the injuries. Imagine it'll be a scrum when we do restart. It is going to be a scrum. Who's got ball in hand? Has Alex Mitchell got the ball at the moment? Would be my guess. Yeah, Mitchell with ball in hand. So it'll be an England scrum just inside the 22. Actually, really good attacking set pieces for them. And you feel they've got to try to score this first half. Got to try to stay within touching distance. All Blacks generally, besides that an Ireland game, maybe that Argentina game to a point, have not ended particularly well. They've often faded a little bit in the second half. So that's why you're trying to stay in touch with them. And the longer you're in touch, the better chance you have of winning the game. At the end of the day, it's quite simple. Nothing complicated about it. Now to the left-hand side, Mitchell goes short. Lawrence sits down, Leo Carter. Lawrence comes back inside. Lawrence scores. Dreadful defense, but England are on the board. And an important score that. Clint says, not you, mate. You're my go-to guy. I was talking about. Okay, fair enough. To be fair, yeah, it's been a long day. I didn't even realize that was not the comment earlier. Appreciate your chat, but I still, to be fair, I actually wouldn't mind. I don't really care who wins this evening. I almost want to laugh a little bit at the All Blacks' demise, but at the same time, it's like, ugh, you can imagine supporting England. Bit of a no-win scenario here, really. Right, so missed conversion. Poor that, because you've got to try and capitalize on every opportunity of the points you get. Ball's available for Alex Mitchell. Goes to the boot. Does find touch. Not the best touch finder, but about the 10-meter line there. So still fun football here for the All Blacks. And penalty at the line this time after All Blacks. So back on the front foot they go. And that is so bad from Beauden Barrett. He's not even mistouched by... He's just mistouched by a mile. It's actually gone dead. So it'll be a scrum back where he kicked it. That's awful from him. Goodness me. All right, scrum time on the 10-meter line. Can England win themselves a scrum penalty maybe? Kick themselves further down the field. Pretty even at the moment. Now goes down. Ball available at the back for Alex Mitchell. George Ford with the cross kick towards Roebuck. But wrapped up. Pulls it back inside to Marcus Smith. Scrambles well. In the end, it's a good result for England. Mitchell goes inside to Ben Earl. Now the left-hand side. Ford. Goes back to George Ford. George Ford goes to the boot. Ferru Abosa will give chase. And it goes back, but into the hands of Cameron Roygaard with a lot of space ahead of him. Oh no, it's going to be dreadful. Stands up to tackle this George Ford. Makes a very good tackle. Ball and all as well, so he can't get the offload away. Back towards Beauden Barrett. He sees a bit of space and puts it at the top for Artie Sevier. Jamie George gets there though. And eventually comes away to Guy Pepper. He gets away to Marcus Smith. Now Marcus Smith. Kicks him behind. Was it touched? I don't think so. And eventually we'll find touch. Very well worked there for Marcus Smith. That was, I'll tell you what, that camera, when Roy got something jumps to the ball, there's not many people ahead of him. You do start to panic if you're an England supporter. A couple of England players are quite tired. It's quite a high-paced match at the moment. Cody Taylor. They go to the back, and this time the England disrupt the line, and it falls back to Jamie George. So Lions in general apparently been quite scrappy. On the front foot goes Ben Earl, comes back on the angle. Alex Mitchell sees a half gap, and then losing it forward to Alex Coles. Knock on, says the referee, Andrew Piatti. On pass side wide from getting to Pye. Missed space for Leo Carter. He puts the hammer down. Plenty of pace from Leo Carter. We know this. Chips and chases himself. And is someone going to get there? Roebuck eventually makes the tackle. And on the ball is Charlie Lawrence. Massive win, that. Cheap as me. That looked very dangerous. Leo Carter's just got so much pace to burn. It's the right option, actually, from Mitchell, but yeah, poor from Alex Cole. He wasn't really expecting it, but what's the point of running a supporting line if you're not expecting the ball? Right, knock on is the call here. Big tackle, important tackle from Marcus Smith on Leo Carter. Ollie Lawrence preventing him from making the pass and then making the pop and then gets his hands over it. So it's an important win, that. Still searching for that center combination. I think both teams actually, I suppose, still searching for that best center combination. I mean, they've had moments, but I don't think either of them have got your Delende Creel, your Estes and Moody, your Menoncello, Nasha Brex, those proper center combinations that just, work week in, week out, and you can rely on. So it's an All Black scrum because of the knock-on from Ollie Lawrence before that win. Cameron Weigard wants to take it, but we're going to have a reset here. A pretty packed Twickenham from the looks of it, and why would it be? Come on, let's get this going. Let's get this rolling. Now to the left-hand side. Long pass out to Pye. Will Jordan on the angle. Long pass out wide. Unless the Fanganukas got nobody ahead of him. England fans all coming across. Sit down. And he's sat down. Fair with Boso. But eventually they managed to scramble and stop him. But they're 2 meters out, the All Blacks. Big counterattack that came from England. Have they won it back? They have. Legally says Piatti as well. Toja dives on the ball. Turnover ball. Opportunity gone big in that time from the All Blacks. Ben Earl now. In close quarters. Ball available for Alex Mitchell. He'll just shape for the box kick here. Doesn't quite find touch into the hands of Beauden Barrett. Goes inside to Will Jordan. In fact, it's Quinton Pye. Gets past Toje. We brought down in the process. Beauden Barrett pops it short. Artie Salvi has to go backwards to go and retrieve it. Now Fletcher Newell calls it on himself. Goes nice and direct as the tight head. To left-hand side. Peter Lakai's been a bit quiet the last few minutes. And that's De Groot could carry that from him. We already got to the right-hand side. Short to Scott Barrett. Parker cleaning up. Pick up and go here from Will Jordan. Goes short to De Groot. Not too many options. Just caught on the ball there, really. Just past Timmy line. Not too much on. Roy got looking for options. Goes to the right. Goes to Scott Barrett. Now to the left-hand side this time. Billy Proctor almost making a argument. Billy Proctor does make a gap. Brought down by Mario Toja. Almost up to the 10-meter line. Slow ball this time for Cam Roygard. To the right-hand side. Beauden Barrett goes flat. Slightly behind, but good take there coming from Quinton Pye. Ball fizzles out towards Roygard. He just kicks it ahead, but penalty, says the referee, for going off his feet. Interesting decision now coming from the All Blacks. Right in front of the poles, about 40 meters out. Pretty straightforward. Do you take the points? You take the 3 there? Yeah, cheap. That's an awful tackle attempt for Faroe Bosa. Gets absolutely hammered by Lester Fanganuku. And they're not fine touch. This is the second time they've done that. Beauden Barrett. He's having an absolute disaster. Barrett. To left-hand side goes Roygard. Barrett again. Roygard goes to the short side. Fletcher Newell. Barrett, not too many options, goes to the boot. Nobody really chased it either, so Marcus Smith's got a free take. Now what can Marcus Smith conjure up? He puts it to the boot. Goes back to Leroy Carter. Sends it inside to Beauden Barrett. Long pass side wide towards Will Jordan. With a bit of space to the left-hand side here for the All Blacks. Will Jordan goes this finding Ganuka. Corey Taylor up against the wing. Mario Toje makes the tackle and he spills the ball forward. Alex Mitchell sees a bit of space, chips in behind. Beauden Barrett's going after it. Not with too much intent. It's going to start just side of the try line. And under pressure there from Alex Mitchell. In fact, did he touch it? I'll tell you what, the players look a little bit dead in their feet, actually. I think it's been quite an intense half. Clint, it's time for you to look at other options for 10. I think there's a couple of positions they need to look at options for. Go to the back of the line, though, to England. Much better this time. Looking for the rolling maul. Mitchell to the left-hand side. Ben Earl comes back on the angle. Hold up by Adi Xavier. There she brought down. Ball available. Mitchell to the left-hand side. Goes Mario Toje. Ollie Lawrence now. Pick up and go coming from Guy Pepper. Mitchell goes to Underhill. Good momentum this year from England. Back in the pocket is George Ford. Lines of the drop goal. He turns. He's nailed it. He's nailed it. Fair enough. Not much on. And then they say, thank you very much. We'll take the 3. And make it a 5-point game. This is very classy from George Ford. Just steadies himself. Bang. Straight to the middle. Easy as you like. Over 100 tests gives you that kind of experience, that kind of composure. Good take back from Alex Carlson underneath the high ball. Watch the call from the referee from a maul. Are they going to be able to get this ball out of England? I think that'll be their worry. It's just going to be turnover ball. Ball is available for Alex Mitchell. About 90 seconds left on the clock. Goes to the boot. Roebuck's there. Roebuck catches it very well. There's no contest from him. The All Blacks players just kind of standing around. Now Mitchell to the left-hand side. Forces a bit of space to the left hand. Dingwall. Marcus Smith. Long pass out towards Ferry Obosi. Space in front of him. Sizer comes back inside. Still going, just short of the 22. Mitchell to the right-hand side. Converted try, puts him in the lead at half-time. Ford goes short to Hayes. Now, Dingwall. Ball available for Mitchell to the left-hand side. Goes to Finn Baxter. Now Ford. Marcus Smith. Caught in the ball. Just outside the 22. Mitchell will now go back towards the right-hand side. Coles waits. Coles gets. Back in the pocket. Ford's going to try another one. And he's turned. This time I think it's sliding to the right. No, he's nailed it. Cheap as me. Well, George Ford is just putting a bit of a masterclass there on how to put some points on the board. And just like that, they're a point behind. And they'll feel not going into the half-time. Yeah, they'll probably be a point down, but they'll actually feel like they're on top. That's so well struck. It's a pretty cool picture with a massive England flag behind him. Goes to the right-hand side is Beauden Barrett. Left for Alex Mitchell, and he just pops it over. Right, half-time, 11 points to 12. Well, here we go. We've got a game on here, lads. There is a game on. Not much in it at all. So we're going to the half-time break with the scores even. Well, even, all but even. And a very interesting second half to come. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll be back shortly after the break.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
And we're back for the second half, and 1 point in it. Interesting scenes over at Twickenham at the moment with England. 2 late drop goals coming from George Ford. in the last stage of that first half, kind of just changing things slightly. You know, at one stage it looked like the All Blacks were pretty comfortable. And then they conceded 11 unanswered points after going 12-0 up. And I think that the game could still very much be on. And very interested to see exactly how England go about this, how they negotiate, how they use their bench, for example. And the All Blacks need to try and score next, I think, at the moment. I think at the moment England are playing with a lot of confidence and will feel they can get a job done. The question is, you know, how do you silence that, really? How do you basically try and pose yourself quite early on this half and make sure there is no hope in inverted commas? And just as like that, we've got a TMO review here. Mark's Investation getting involved in the TMO box. So I think actually, I don't think any foul play or anything. I think they're just having a look at exactly whose hand this comes off of. I think it's playing the ball on the ground here from Cody Taylor. So probably just a penalty, I think, will be the decision. Yellow card. That's a big decision. I didn't think there was that hectic. So yellow card is the call here. So that's going to be a bit of a disaster. Definitely not what they would have liked so earlier in the half. Is the yellow card. That makes things very interesting. England had a lot of momentum going into half time. Now they got a penalty and a yellow card. George Ford kicking for the corner. Probably could have taken the 3 points or had attempted the 3 points. I think the yellow card's very bold. I think it's very, very harsh on Cody Taylor. Right, so in the first half you asked who are you supporting. In the second half you're going to ask who do you think is going to win. England and Ollie Lawrence on the front foot at first receiver. He's had a solid game so far today. Now on the left-hand side, space. Good work, good run there coming from Sam Underhill. Right around the doorstep, Alex Mitchell to the right-hand side. Looking for Alex Mitchell going to try to go himself. He's just short. Has he got grounding? Where's the ball? Ball's available. Mario Toto picks up and goes. Short. Marcus Smith wants it. Underhill goes over. England ahead. What a start that is to the second half. Well, there we go. There we go. 12-0 to 16-12. What a comeback this has been from England. Goodness me.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
Apologies for that, a couple of technical difficulties, but All Blacks back with possession after that try, which was converted by George Ford. So 18 points to 12. 4-point advantage here for England. 18 unanswered points is probably the main thing. And a very interesting substitution. Cortes Ratimer on for Cam Roigard. Penalty coming from Ferro Bosa for a high tackle. We might have to check a foul play here as well, potentially. Just getting the timing wrong there, did Ferro Bosa. Quite clear tackled in the air. Right, up towards the 10-metre line here. Cortes Ratimer looking for the ball to the left-hand side. All Blacks have to score next. Tell you what, if England score next, then all of a sudden this could become a big opportunity for an upset. It's always an upset when the All Blacks lose, really, unless it's against probably the Box, who've got the best record against them. Ball goes up. Marcus Smith can't quite take it, but goes back to George Ford. He's come alive recently. Beno sent back packing. Ball available as Alex Mitchell lifts it in the boot. Couple giving chase. Burton Barrett now back into contact. Solid tackle on him. To left-hand side. Long pass off from Burton Barrett. Will Jordan steps inside. Bit of momentum here for the All Blacks, starting to conjure up. Burton Barrett goes short to Peter Lakai. Billy Proctor. Right, Ratimer goes to the boot. Swirling there. Marcus Smith calls for it, but doesn't manage to get it away. And it comes back to Leroy Carter, who's still going. Leroy Carter, the 22. Out to the right-hand side. Josh Law caught on the ball. Good tackle there coming from Baxter. Ratimer to the left-hand side. Peter Lakai, short, soft hands. Fanganuka should. That's forward. Was knocked on anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'll go back for the scrum. Poor hands there. Not much direction, really, there from the All Blacks. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an interesting tactical battle here. I think the bench side is going to be a very big part of this game. And who uses their bench better? So because you saw Tamati Williams coming on quite early, and here comes Samasoni Takawao. Actually, sorry, I like Creates in the bin, so obviously you have to bring on Takawao. So Josh, so that's fine, Simon Parker will get sacrificed. But yeah, I mean, in terms of impact players, I mean, obviously England have got Henry Pollock, Tom Curry. They've gone with a 6-2 split, Chandler Cunningham himself. So they've got players who can bring a lot of impact on later. You look at the All Blacks, and it's an orthodox 5-3 split. Anton Leonard-Brown, Damien McKenzie, Wallace Atiti, Sam Derry. You know, there's a couple of nice players there. Tamati Williams will be the one that they'll be looking for impact now. Right, scrum, yeah. Alex Mitchell will feed the first scrum with the Tamati Williams as well. And it's a big scrum coming from England. There's a huge scrum coming from England. Penalty advantage here. And the penalty does come. That's a big moment in the game. I genuinely think it's a huge moment in the game. To get that kind of scrum advantage, win the scrum penalty, there'll be a lot of confidence coming out of that. And Ford will kick to touch. Good kick for touch as well. Fantastic kick for touch. But a big moment out there for Joe Hayes winning that penalty. And England playing with a lot of confidence, 10 metres out. So 10 metres beyond the halfway line. So on the 10-metre line. And it'll be the first time for Luke and Dickey to put the ball in after he replaced Jamie George earlier. How many times did we see that? Those two players replacing each other. Sure, and a good line being run by Tom Roebuck. Gets all the way to Ben Earl. Ben Earl gets ripped in the tackle. George Ford's going to go over, but is it going to be disallowed? Did I see something? No, they're over. They're over. Oh, he doesn't even look convinced. Yeah, we are going to go back. I thought I saw the ball come loose here. I thought I saw the ball come loose here. We're going to have to go back and check here. This might be disallowed. So the big question here, is this been ripped or is this a knock-on? If this has been ripped, this try might yet stand. Knock-on, obviously we'll go back for the knock-on. So it's a huge call to come here from Rice van der Vestes in the TMO box. Roebuck, such a good line being run there. I definitely thought I saw the ball go loose. It's better. I think that ball's been ripped, you know. I think that ball's been ripped back by Beauden Barrett into the hands of George Ford. I think this might yet count. He takes it cleanly, then ripped out of the hands by Beauden Barrett into the hands of George Ford. I mean, I don't even know if this goes forward anyway. So, I mean, he rips it back into the hands of George Ford. I'll tell you what, I think this is going to stand. I think this is going to stand. No try. That's an interesting call. That's a very, very interesting call. So it's actually a penalty for offside. Well, how's that for a turnaround? Could have been a try. England could have gone to 23 points to 12, kicked to count 25 points to 12. Instead, they've conceded a penalty, and all of a sudden the All Blacks kick themselves into England territory and have an opportunity here. So from what I could hear, the issue was not the knock-on, but it was the fact that the England players were offside at the line-out. Right, here we go. All Blacks on the front foot. Can they hit back? What a turnaround moment that was. I mean, literally could have gone from ball over the top to Artie Savi. Not the cleanest line, but it works eventually. So they eventually driven backwards. Ball spills on the back. Quarter Jackson goes short to Fletcher Newell. Billy Proctor now. Sweet Cherry echoing around Twickenham. Josh Lord Caught on it. Caught his Ratimer, looking for options. Goes to the right-hand side. Barrett. So okay from him. Pick up and go from Artie Savia. Pick up and go coming here from Simon Parker, I think, for the looks of it. No, in fact, Josh Law. Simon Parker's off. Now to the left-hand side. Barrett. Going to the cross kick. Scrambling slightly. Has he got... Oh, he takes the dive, does Quinn Tupai, but can't take it on the full. Slightly overcooked from Burden Barrett. I'll tell you what, it'll be interesting to see when... I mean, England have got the 6-2 split. When do they bring it on? When do they bring it on? Well, here we go. Henry Pollock, literally looking like a boxer ready to come on. I mean, I'm all for big personalities, but I think he does come across as a bit of a knob sometimes, this old Henry Pollock. He's busy hyping himself up, shaking his head, nodding his head. He's literally licking his lips during the haka. I mean, he's a fantastic player. But, yeah, doing a little bit much sometimes, I think, is the call. But you know what, BU, dude, it's a huge scrum once again. This time we're going to have a reset, but it's another big scrum. As I said, you got some serious big impact players coming on from England. You've got Ellis Genge, Cunningham Sal's good player, Tom Curry, Henry Pollock. Those are going to be big impact players. Here comes Damian McKenzie, by the way, and Wallace Atiti. So here come the All Blacks impact players as well. Corey Taylor getting ready to get back on, as well as Pasolo Toffee. Just under half an hour left in this match. England's scrum is starting to look pretty good, and that's going to become quite a powerful way. Oh, it's so much, not much stability on that at the far side. I'm not sure why I was even allowed to be put in. Yeah, we are going to have another reset. Kills me. Reset scrums absolutely kill me. And eventually going to go back to a reset here. Reset number 3. Ball available for Mitchell. Mitchell shows and goes himself. Gets the hands through. Eventually holds on to it. Does well actually hold on to it. Alex Mitchell, eventually back from the bottom of the ruck, going to go to the boot. Does go to the boot. Roebuck will give chase. And I think Jordan's come away with that. No, it's available on England's side. Mitchell goes to Ford. Ford looking for options. Then hammers it down the left-hand side. Looking for 50-22. Bounce to the ball. Bounce to the ball. That's a phenomenal kick from George Ford. Goodness me. That is a phenomenal kick from George Ford. Not too many options out. Just hammers it to the left-hand side. Back to 15 on 15 here. Burden Barrett making way for Damian McKenzie. Not his finest outing, I don't think, Burden Barrett. Good player, obviously. One of the world, two-time winner of the World Player of the Year. But not his best outing. Mitchell. Lawrence gets it off the way. Oh my goodness, what a line run, and Fraser Dingwall goes over. That is awful defense But England have scored 23 unanswered points. Goodness me, where has this come from? Where has this... I mean, what is going on here? What is going on? Lawrence looks like he's... I mean, it's so intelligent because he looks like he's taking it himself, draws the two players in, and then just pops up to Fraser Dingwall. Under the poles he goes. Kick to come. And that is all from George Ford's 50-22. Set move. Lawrence puts his head down, draws them in. I tell you what, I think it's Billy Proctor standing so wide. Yeah, Christian, I think that early prediction is looking a little bit sketchy. Look at the celebration, the England staff. Steve Borthwick doesn't celebrate. The attack coach, however, was absolutely loving it. And there goes Fletcher Newell. There goes Quinton Pye. So Anton Leonard-Brown on for the All Blacks. As well as Pasilo Tossi. 25 points to 12. Jeepers me. Well, I call it an England win, but I mean a New Zealand win. But I tell you, at this stage, 25 unanswered points. That is panic stations. And Henry Pollock's on as well. That's out on the full, though. That's a big mistake. Big mistake. Silly mistake from Alex Mitchell. So, who's actually come on here from... obviously, Luce Count Dickey was already on. I think Ellis Genge is on. No, Finn Baxter's still there. But Henry Pollock's definitely on. Tom Curry's definitely on. Tomato Williams on the short side, though. Good line that from the All Blacks inside the 22. Yeah, it is. Sorry, Ellis Genge is on the park. Henry Pollock, nice and busy as he always is. Hardy Savia on the front foot. Pick him and go. Tom Curry away to the threat. Lots of breakdown threats now on for England. Penalty advantage though for All Blacks. The hands in the ruck is the call. Interesting decision. Do they just take the points? Do they go for the corner? Barrett. Almost a bit of a gap for Peter Lakai. Still penalty advantage here for the All Blacks. So TT now. To the right hand side. Bang. Big hit there coming on Josh Lord. McKenzie, long pass out wide to absolutely no one. That's a dreadful pass. They'll go back for the penalty. That's really poor from David McKenzie. That was the definition of a Hail Mary. That's just, well, somebody might be out there somewhere. Let me just throw it and see what happens. Decision time. I think they're going to take 3 on New Zealand. In fact, they're going to take a tap and go here. Cody Taylor's lining himself up. McKenzie back. McKenzie loses it forward. Chance gone big enough for the All Blacks. Now with a space out for England as Henry Pollock puts his head down out wide. And he brings in Roebuck. Goes back to Henry Pollock, can't hold on. He's asking if he was tackled without the ball. Knock-on advantage is the call and it has gone on to touch. I tell you, that was dangerous from England though. Lots of space. Ellis Genge Big tackle on Danny McKenzie. Then he gets the offload away, and they can see out the space out wide. Pollock. It's good support play as well. And he shut off the ball. I think probably got a case there, actually. Right, so scrum, yeah, which is not a bad result for England, given the fact that they've had the scrum dominance. So let's see what Torsi can do. Taylor says Razor is being blunted with every All Black loss. So this is what I was saying. I mean, I think JP was saying earlier, he said not enough's being actually made of how poor the All Blacks have been this year. Much better for that from the All Blacks. But here comes a bit of a shove from England. There is a bit of a second shove from England. And a bit of pressure. And they do get the penalty. We spoke about the first half, the fact that England did not have a set piece in the form of a line and how much that was affecting them. Well, now it's the scrum, which is actually just getting them into this game. Got into this game and starting to dominate. Look at the celebration, Ben Earl from Mario Toja. That's a huge scrum. Yeah, even the commenting about the fact that England's celebrations at these sort of moments has drawn a lot of criticism. Well, at the moment, I don't think they really care. In all honesty. Ball at the top there, good tackle, and straight back down. Mitchell goes. Liston Lawrence does take it into contact. Ben Earl, back on the side, back on the front foot here. England score here, and All Blacks could be truly well down out, but they've lost it forward. Now the counter-attack could be on here. They've got numbers here. Towards forward. Kick ahead here comes from Billy Proctor. Marcus Smith's going to get there ahead of everyone else. And wants to go for himself. Not sure what's the right decision. England need to scramble here. It is the wrong decision for Marcus Smith. They do concede a penalty for holding on. Not sure that was the right call for Marcus Smith. Just take it to the boots. Hack it out. That was the play. I think she has to go to the boot here. Does Marcus Smith has to go to the boot. Big open moment here. Almost, and they've lost it. I was about to say, it looks like a messy line, and they've lost it. And Ben Earl jumped on it. And it's a knock-on. They'll go back for the scrum, which at the moment is probably a scrum penalty with the way they're playing. Cool. They're going to reverse. It's actually a penalty for the All Blacks, so not quite the victory England thought it was. So into the corner they go. All Blacks have another chance to have a go. An infringement at the line was the call against Mario Toje. Right, Cody Taylor. They could compete this time much better. Scott Barrett takes it well. Looking for the only more now, the All Blacks. Advantage for collapsing the more is the call. And their turnovers, Ferro Bosa goes through, but it was advantage, so they'll go back for another penalty. England at risk now of losing a player. Jeepers, what a game this has been. 15 minutes to go. Not kind of the controversial game we saw in Turin, but it's been a very entertaining one. And Ben Earl has gone to the bin. I wondered about the yellow card potentially. Well, there it is. So England now down to 14 men. How big of a decision is that going to be? 15 minutes left. You've got to feel they've got to try and make this call. Once it's the call. Breaks off as Cody Taylor. Spinning around. Cody Taylor just short. Now Tossi just short as well. Ratimer, long pass out to McKenzie. Surely ever short. And they stroll in. And it's Will Jordan. Of course it's Will Jordan. It is always Will Jordan. Easy as you like. In the end. And game firmly back on.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
Right, 25 points to 19. 6 points in it. 40 minutes to go. And England down to 14 for another 8 minutes. A potential another twist in the tail. Cortez Ratman at the base of the ruck. Excuse me, it's just a little snap kick. Does find touch. England just need to slow things down here, I think, and stick to what they've been good at. Taylor said, yeah, so you know, the awful Mark Smith's dumb decision. I do think he should have just hacked it out. If they had found 10 meters, whatever, 5 meters, but just allowed everybody to get back and get yourself ready. A penalty, even if they had maybe only found 10 more meters ahead, it's just the momentum. And now the mistakes come in because Luke Cowan-Dickey has put the ball in skew. So scrum for the All Blacks. Yeah, he's frustrated at that decision, but skew is skew at the end of the day. Right, can the All Blacks secure the scrum? Or are they going to come under a lot of fire? Because this England scrum has come alive in the second half. It is only a 7-man scrum here from England, so you don't expect them to really compete. Penalty advantage here for All Blacks. Ratzinger goes to the left-hand side. McKenzie goes to the cross kick. Taken and ball back inside. Will Jordan will go forward, go back for the penalty at the scrum. All of a sudden, you feel a bit of the momentum has shifted back towards the All Blacks. It was the first points they scored in 48 minutes when they went over for that try. Yeah, just to say, momentum just feels like it's shifting a little bit. That yellow card, I think, is going to be a big, big part of this game. England needs to try and weather the storm. Front of the line out. Ratzinger to McKenzie. Lennon Brown not taking into contact. Ratzinger back to McKenzie. McKenzie goes short to Will Jordan, the try scorer. And turnover one, and of course it's in. Henry Pollock gets over the ball, wins the turnover. And they need more moments like that. That's what they need. It's a great tackle from Fraser Dingwall. And your hands straight on the ball, in fairness. Right, and past 22 they go. This is more about actually running the clock down than anything else, to be honest. And they steal the line to the All Blacks. I'm talking about the fact that it's all about the set pieces in this game and just become crucial. Scrum penalties, some crucial line-out steals, and that is one of them. As Daniel McKenzie launched the ball back, has come all the way back to zone 22 to receive it as Roebuck. Now he puts it deep. McKenzie underneath it. Now he lifts it up, and Will Jordan will give chase. It's quite deep, though, so it should be a free take. Ford pops it up to Alex Mitchell. He sees a bit of space. He's trying to keep it inside into the hands of McKenzie. McKenzie is looking to run. He is looking to run. Sizes up. Mitchell gets away from him. Ratzinger out to Takawao. In the defense up quickly, but he gets away from a couple. Is that not high from Ellis Genge? No, says the ref. Ratzinger now goes to the boot. And taken also out the air. Penalty advantage comes for England. Penalty comes from England. George Ford gets it up, takes it well, wins the penalty. Discipline has to be good enough from the All Blacks. Right, so break and play. Less than 9 minutes on the clock. One of the England players down. I think it looks like Alex Mitchell's down. So we might see Ben Spencer on very shortly. Him and Chandler Cunningham himself, the only two yet to come on from an England point of view. From an All Blacks point of view, they've emptied their entire bench. Two minutes and 50 seconds left on the yellow clock for Ben Earl. The man of the match nominees are Will Jordan, Peter Lakai, Ollie Lawrence, George Ford, and Ben Earl. He's currently in the sin bin. So I don't know if that's going to impact his man of the match options. All right, eventually up, and George Ford will kick England down the field. Just try to bring it around slightly. Not looking too greedy there. 6 liners lost by England, by the way. 6. That is ridiculous. Just the one lost by New Zealand. That's a 50% success rate line. That is awful. But this time, Itoje goes up and takes it well. Looking for the rolling maul. Maro Itoje gets rid of 2 and get joins back. Looking pretty promising. Lukau and Dickey. Once to the core. Mitchell goes over the top. Roebuck's going to go after it. And it falls back. Knock-on advantage. And they'll go back for the knock-on. I don't think it's the worst result, in fairness. It'll run down the clock a little bit. Maybe should have just kept the ball in hand in 1 or 2 phases. Try and run the clock down a little bit here from England. Times also as a referee. We are going to see a substitution. Here comes Ben Spencer. On for Alex Mitchell. And are we seeing Canning himself? It does not look like it. Interesting. I mean, I think he's such a great player. I'm surprised they haven't brought him on. All right, 1 minute and 44 seconds left on the clock for Ben Earl's yellow card. Just over 8.5 minutes left on the clock for the game. 7.5 minutes left on the clock for the game. Pretty solid so far. Now starting to come through, a bit of pressure. Ratimo caught on the ball by Henry Pollock. Done very well as the youngster. And a bit of pressure now on the All Blacks. McKenzie's had to come in and fill in. So TT, more to the point, they're playing in the right area as far as England are concerned. You don't score points on your own try line. Now McKenzie back in the pocket. And Ratchmer will clear it himself. And fine touch. England back to its pass between 2. Good awareness that from Pollock. Right, and Luca and Dickey now feed the line out. Spots 22. This time they do take a carry. Comes straight down. Penalty advantage for England. So free roll of dice here. George Ford's back in the pocket. Do they take the 3? Why wouldn't you take the 3? The frustration there from Scott Barry as he shakes his head. Take the 3 points here. Get yourself more than a try out of reach. The yellow card's up, so Ben will come back on. You take the 3 points here, you could be basically wrapping up the game. You get it completely wrong, do the All Blacks, and basically take out the lifter. As a result, Tom Curry comes straight down. Scott Barrett doesn't agree with that decision, is what that grimace is. And I think he is going to take the points here as George Ford. Cheapest, I tell you what, I mean, again, it would only be the second game the All Blacks have lost this year, but I don't think people have, actually, third game, because they lost to Argentina. So the third game they've lost, but they just don't have that All Black aura anymore. I think that's what I was sort of saying earlier. this year is I don't fear the All Blacks. You know, like the teams of old, you just like, oh my goodness, like how bad is it going to be? We're going to have to be our absolute best just to sort of semi-compete. I just don't feel like they've got that aura anymore. And the more teams that do beat them, the more that aura kind of fades. So now, for example, you would have had Argentina would have beaten them, the Springboks would have beaten them. If England go and beat them here, yeah, it's two different nations. I mean, the Boks have lost 2 games. They lost to Wallabies and they lost to the All Blacks. And All Blacks have lost 2 games. This would be their 3rd game they've lost. And Ireland will be kicking themselves. I think the All Blacks were there for the taking. I just think Ireland were really, really poor over in Chicago. Right, this is a big moment, though. George Ford for the 3. He struck it well. It's gone straight over. The flags are up 28 points to 19. England extended to a 9-point advantage with 5 minutes to go. Still no celebration from Borthwick. He's holding out for the full-time whistle. Right, they go short to the All Blacks. And Fraser Dingwall gets up and takes it pretty well. Now it's about game management. 4.5 minutes left. Ben Spencer to the left-hand side. Goes to Mario Tojo. Spencer. Marcus Smith wanted to have a bit of a run. Ball didn't arrive fast enough for it. Goes to the boot. Curry will give chase, as will Ferry Wabosa. Leo Carter smashed by Curry. Pollock there as well. Big counter coming from England, but it's secured by Cortez Ratimer. To the left-hand side. Peter Lakai. Ratimer to the right-hand side. Takawao. Tossie. McKenzie swings it back. Will Jordan drifting. Ratimer goes short to Leo Carter. Nice contact there on Leicester Fanganuko. Still inside their own half, though. With 3.5 minutes to go. Running out of time here, the All Blacks. Loose ball. Henry Pollock kicks it ahead. Henry Pollock's going to go there towards Roebuck. Roebuck's going to go to the corner. Oh, my goodness. What a disaster. An absolute disaster. It's comical, even. Wow, this is now a beating. This is becoming a beating. Cheap. I mean, a comedy of errors, really. Pollock putting his hand next to his ear, telling the crowd to get up. It's a dreadful pass. McKenzie just, and then Pollock comes through, kicks it ahead, kicks it to the side, and then Roebuck picks it up. As you can just see, the All Blacks just completely switch off. They don't really care anymore. There's just not enough intent coming backwards. Roebuck over, and what a result this is going to be for England. Well wide that from George Ford, but it doesn't matter because with 2 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock, that is the game. I didn't pick this, must admit. I'm having a terrible day on my picks. Bruno underneath it. Yep, as Taylor says, there goes the Grand Slam for New Zealand. Ben Spencer will look to find touch. Will find touch. Spirit of Thought for Wales will have to try and deal with the repercussions. I just can't believe here comes Chandler Cunningham. So that's bizarre for me. I can't understand why it's taken so long to put him on. That's interesting. Ollie Lawrence is going to go off. I think Ben Earl's going to stay on and go to centre. Yep, that is the call. So line once again from the All Blacks. Mackenzie. Long pass out wide. Pretty Proctor on the bounce to Fanganuko. Still going to Fanganuko. Ratchman goes back to Mackenzie. Mackenzie goes short. Nice hands in the All Blacks. Come back on the angle though. Goes Antonina Brown. Wins the penalty to the All Blacks. Ratchman wants to take this quickly, I think. Does take it quickly. Goes short to Mackenzie. He goes short to Satiti. And I'll tell you, if they score the next 30 seconds and manage to get a kick-off, then mathematically they could still do it. A draw. But with 50 seconds left, that's probably gone now. Ratimer to the right-hand side. Mackenzie. Long pass out wide. Leo Carter. With the advantage here. Not really managed to get past the England defence. No advantage. 30 seconds left. Can they finish at least and make this look a little bit less of a thrashing? I mean, it's not a massive thrashing, but 14 points is pretty comprehensive. Right, and the clock goes red. England will win the game. The question is by how much? Can the All Blacks get a consolation try? Razor will have to answer for this. Ball over the top. It's the first time they've lost in England. Well, it gets kicked back by Ben Earl, and that is it. Look at the celebrations from England. Final score, 33 points to 19. All Blacks in the mud a little bit, to be honest. What a result that is. People, thank you very much for joining me. We'll be live a little bit later for Ireland versus Australia. A bit of a late night game. So we'll see you guys all over there. We're going to send you across to the Wales versus Japan. We'll also be live for France versus Fiji, covering every single game this weekend. So please do smash like on the video on the way out. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you guys all later.